Mr. Jaffe. Exploring Seton Falls Park.
Glad you could join us. Today on Video Science, we're investigating Seton Falls Park out in the Bronx. Today I'm going to be looking for red-backed salamanders, a kind of woodland-dwelling salamander, which is a kind of amphibian that lives in this park. Last time I was here, I found them in great numbers. Let's see what we can find today. I think my friend Mr. L is around here somewhere. Hey, Mr. L.
Hey, Mr. Jaffe, how you doing?
Well, I'm just out here in these woods looking for some salamanders. What are you doing here? You live here?
Yeah, I'm from the Bronx.
You live in these woods?
I'm like of the Bronx.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So speaking of wild, I'm out here looking for some salamanders, and this is one of the only places in New York City where you can find redback salamanders. But I noticed something really cool. There's a lot of exciting rock formations around this park.
Yeah, I mean, that's what really got me excited about this place. You know, I heard that the Bronx in general is full of gneiss. But I've seen that there's a lot of schist rock around here.
It's very important to know the geology of the place that you're in. Let's see what else we can find in this forest of the salamanders. Woodland salamanders need to find a moist place to live in order to survive. And here I found this rotted log. It has been raining a lot recently. The rest of the ground is dry, but I'm going to peel this log apart and see if there's anything inside it. It's a good place to look for a redback salamander.
Salamanders are common in the park, but need to stay hidden on this hot 88-degree day. Our rotted log has everything they need: shelter, moisture, and food. Tiny invertebrates like termites, spiders, and springtails. These salamanders breathe almost entirely through their skin, so without moisture, they could not absorb oxygen.
I just found two really pretty red-backed salamanders underneath this piece of this rotting log. And what I always do, and I think that everyone should do, when you're observing nature and you find something cool, that's great. After you're done looking at it and you've observed it, be very nice and put back as best you can the place that you found them. We call this preserving microhabitat. All the moisture that's underneath, trapped in this rotted wood, and all the water that runs down this rock is perfect for being a salamander, but you have to make sure that you maintain it. It's up to you. You've got to put it back.
The habitat at Seton Falls Park also attracts birds and some interesting forest floor insects.
This is one of my favorite New York insects. This, you might recognize it. It is definitely a beetle, and it's this very special beetle. This is called a best beetle. You can tell it's a best beetle because of the flat carapace or shell that it's got and the stripes. And those stripes are going to enable the best beetle to move its way through the wood. And the reason why it lives on this rotted log here is because rotted wood is what best beetles eat. That's right. So all this stuff that you see down here, all those shreds of wood, that's all from this little guy chewing with his powerful jaws. Don't worry about the best beetle biting you. It's pretty harmless to pick them up as long as you're gentle like I'm being. And I'm going to roll the log over. I don't see any of the best beetle's friends. Usually they like to live in a group, but I can tell that this is a male best beetle because if you look really close, it's got a horn-like projection on the end of its head. Best beetles, a really exciting New York insect. What do you think, Mr. L?
These things kind of scare me, to be honest.
Well, sometimes we have to face our fears.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Look at all those best beetle larvae.
Those are the larvae
Yeah,
of the best
look,
beetle.
See, they live in groups, and there's a earthworm. It looks like the best beetles pretty much rule this log. Look at this beetle larva.
This male cardinal stops for a drink. What else might be in store in this habitat?
Step by step, moving down the stairs of knowledge into the history of Seton Falls Park.
Hey kids, so you know you're looking at schist when you see those shiny little rocks in the whole rock, all right? And those little rocks are actually minerals, okay? And that's when you know you're looking at schist. It has that big piece of mica there. By the way, kids, that shiny little rock I was talking about earlier, that rock is actually a mineral, and that mineral is called mica. And you could see it. See, it's like flat and shiny. This one's, it has like a black color to it, while the rest is like a different type of more like silver type of mica. While this one is another type of mica, which you will probably learn about real soon. Well, if you look closely, kids, you see these seeds, they're like very furry and got spikes all over them. You see, that's an adaptation that these plants evolved in order for their spores to travel. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on Mr. Jaffe so it can travel.
Mr. L, it sounds like you're talking about seed dispersal.
That's right. All right, so another thing about rocks, you know, in rocks, they've got these little crevices or holes, right? Water seeps down into the rock, and then it takes along with it these, you know, little spores of the plants. And then later, they grow. And that's how we get plants growing inside rocks. And this is your good old sedimentary rock, okay? Which you'll learn about real soon. Suck the blood out of you. Be like, hey, get out of my burrow. I can't take you anymore.
Seton Falls Park has a lot of different habitats that are very close together in one area. So Mr. L and I encountered a few surprises while we explored the rocky outcroppings and low wetland areas. It's great to take a friend along when you go out observing wildlife, because they can notice things that you might miss. The rocks at Seton Falls definitely have a story to tell.
As the water rolls down the sides of these falls, it really gets me thinking about this place. Seton Falls Park is a park. It was made for people, by people. That means these waterfalls were made to look at. The water would have just run straight through here. It's a natural stream called Rattlesnake Brook. You might be wondering, what are we doing here if there's rattlesnakes around? Well, first of all, I love rattlesnakes. I'd be very excited to find some, but there aren't any rattlesnakes in this park anymore. There are not any bears either. There used to be. That's why it's called Rattlesnake Brook. There used to be timber rattlesnakes in this park. And over time, well, human beings that build cities don't really like having rattlesnakes and bears around. Makes me sad. It probably makes some people sleep better at night.
I'm one of them. Kids, Mr. L here. As you can see, we have a fall right here, and the rocks. Now, although it may look like nothing is happening to these rocks with the water falling down, but we know that this water is slowly breaking down the rock. And you can see right here, you can see sand right there in the little stream. That sand is basically from those rocks, and the water is slowly breaking it down through time. All right? And you could imagine the years, millions of years of this going on. The sand builds up, right? And then creates rocks like these. You see the layers? See, that's all that sand just building up through time with falls like this, breaking down those rocks. All right? So kids, we're out here in nature, but as you can see, we have a reminder of the fact that we're living in a pretty nasty city. Don't litter, alright? Talking about, that was it, that was him, it was him.
Can you sing a song about city boys, Phil? Want to come in? Ready? Ready?
Yeah, yeah.
He's a city boy. He's a city boy. Where's he come from?
From Canada.
Wow.
Oh. He's talking about, that's what he's a boot.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Scrambles, do you like science?